What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Here today doing something a little different. I'm going to continue on with a project I started last summer for my truck. I have a 2014 Nissan Titan, and this coming season for the summer, me and my wife have a trip to Utah planned, doing some overlanding, things like that. And I bought a Smitty-built Overlander Gen 2 rooftop tent. If you've never seen a rooftop tent, they're pretty freaking sweet. Mixed reviews on if people like them or not, but I'm willing to give it a try. I think it's going to be great. So I'm going to build a rack for that. It sits actually up above the bed of the truck, so you can still use your cargo space. And there's certain racks on the market out there for, most popular trucks, the Titan really not being one of them. I haven't seen a nice rack that I liked, so I decided I'd build my own. And my original plan was to possibly maybe buy like a steel ladder rack, I'm sure you've seen those, modify it, but I just didn't really like that idea. They sit way too high, and I wanted the tent a little more close to the top of the roof line to help with wind resistance, things like that. So I started looking around. The only aluminum rack I could find to help save on some weight was very expensive, and it was something I could do myself, so I just bought a bunch of aluminum square tube, figured I'd give it a shot. So I have a bunch of 2-inch 6061 square, 1/8-inch wall, and I came up with a design I think is pretty neat. It will easily bolt on and off, and it works in conjunction with my factory Utilitrack system, which was a pretty ingenious storage system Nissan came up with in the bed. It has aluminum rails that you can slide things around, bolt different accessories, and it's pretty sturdy. So I'm actually making the whole rack system work with that, so I can still use Utilitrack for other things, which is going to be great for getting other gear loaded in there, other things that I have plans for in the future. So I started making a few of the pieces last summer. I believe I got 3 of the uprights, if you want to call them that, figured out, welded up. I have them sitting back here. I still have to make 3 more, and then make all the bracing that goes in between. So I still have quite a bit of work to do on this thing, and the trip is coming very quickly. We're leaving early June, and I thought about it the other day, and I really just need to get this thing done. It's been bugging me all winter, so let's get to it. So here is one of the pieces I made last summer, and there will be 6 of these going perpendicular to the truck bed. It's mounted to a 3/16 piece of angle, which will actually bolt to my Utilitrack system. So it'll be real easy to take on and off. It'll meet in the center, bolt together there, and then each side can be removed and stored away. I was going to make it in a lot more pieces, but for the sake of strength and, I'm actually going to be off-roading this truck. If it was just camping, I wouldn't have worried about it, but I wanted this thing to be strong. So too many bolted together pieces, I just didn't like that idea. So most of it's going to be welded together, and one junction in the middle where it actually bolts together. So the way I did this was a few pie cuts. Instead of doing full welds, I annealed the outside edge and bent it. Then I welded it up. It turned out really cool. Nice and square. I already test fit these ones on the truck. I still have to make 3 more of these. So let's get to that. When I first started this, I wasn't quite sure of the profile and shape that I wanted. So I went back to basics for me and just took a piece of welding wire, kind of got my basic shape, and held it up to the truck, did a few measurements, did a tester piece, and I liked how it turned out. So then I made myself a nice little template out of some chipboard. I cut it 2-inch so I could lay it right on top of the tube every time. It'd be exactly the same. Got my angles figured out. It's all numbered. So I can set it right in the tube. I know exactly where to mark it. Double check it with a square, make sure the lines are straight. Go ahead and cut it up. And anneal it. close the gaps, weld it up. That easy. All right, as you can see here, closed up pretty nice. There's a tad bit of spring back, but once I pull it, which I can fixture that to stay that way when I weld, but nice tight joints to weld up. Pretty stoked. What's up, everyone? Back to the garage. It's been probably a good month since I've been out here to work on anything, and came out here today to try to keep going on this tent rack. We have our vacation coming up in like the next almost 2 weeks, so I don't have much time to get it done. I really got to get this thing done so I can get that tent mounted on the Titan. But one quick thing, I purchased a welding screen, see there in the box, from an auction. I'm gonna set that up so any of the little kiddos that drive by aren't getting, you know, any welders flashing their eyeballs. I think probably be a beneficial thing to do. So I'm gonna tackle that real quick. Alright, so I got this thing all assembled. Didn't take but maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. Instructions were shit, but I got it. Don't think I'm gonna, excuse me, put all the zip ties on it yet, because I might just keep this as a temporary option for now until I have more space. Probably just put a few on there just so I can have it assembled, and then I'll take it all down and throw it in the corner somewhere in the attic or something until I need it. But pretty stoked. I've always wanted one of these. All right, we are back 2 days later. had a bunch of rain come through, and unfortunately with my setup I have to push a lot of things outside to do some work, so well, the rain pretty much stopped me in my tracks. First order of business, get the Titan close to the garage, maybe in the garage if I can, so I can start mocking the rack up and getting the rest of the bracing done. Before that, I do have to move everything. Cars, bikes, all the stuff, all the things. So let's get into it. Never pulled the truck in here before. It's a little close, but we got plenty of room. I can get started. I'm going to get the cross braces up on the bed, square everything up, make sure it's all correct, and start tacking some braces in and get this thing close to done. Fuck! So I have to interject real quick here. We had to end up changing our plans about halfway through the making of this video with the very drastic, rapid increase in gas prices. Making it all the way to Utah just wasn't in the budget, so we had to change plans, and we're heading down to Kentucky, possibly Tennessee, and I'm still stoked about it. I think it's going to be awesome. Alright, I got them all cut, and my center slug piece, if you will, just to reinforce them where they connect. They are also going to bolt together. Be a lot more bracing, but that's the basic idea without all the cross bracing. So now that they're all cut and actually sitting in place, I can go ahead, get them spaced properly and squared, start measuring for my other pieces. Woo! Allergy season, people. Perfect. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Looking real good. Seven, 8 pieces at 26 and a half. All right, I got this all fixtured up.
You get rid of all your shit?
Okay, so I got this thing all fixtured up on the table. It's kind of a strange arrangement, but I had to get those cross braces set in there, make sure everything was square. Everything's lining up really good, thankfully. So now that those are there, I can tack them in place and then add the third member, if you will. Put those ones in place, tack them, and then that side's mostly tacked together. And then I will be moving on to the other side. All right, so I got the driver's side half of the rack fully welded. Passenger side's probably 50% or so done. So time to get that welded up and do the final test fit, and then I may add some gussets and some other little sheet metal elements, but I'm not sure yet. I'm running kind of tight on time. We shall see. Fully welded, assembled. Figured I'd do it on the ground, it'd be easier. Take it up in one piece since it ain't too heavy. So, time for the first test fit. You guys get to watch me struggle. Not that heavy, it's just awkward. Look at that. Of course it'll look way better when it's got liner on it, or paint, or whatever I decide to do. Pretty stoked. Still think I might add some gussets and stuff, but oops, we shall see. So for in these corners at the top, that's where a lot of stress points are going to be from the tent. So I decided to come up with a little template design, make it out of 080 sheet metal, pretty strong stuff, and they will fit right in the corner like that. Possibly dimple dye some holes in them to pretty them up a bit, make them a little stronger. So I cut some rough pieces, but I had to fine tune my template, so I need to trim these up on the shear, and then I can start marking things out. If I decide to dimple dye holes, drill those out, put them on the brake, and bend them up, see how they fit. Well, got the plates cut out, holes drilled for the dimples. Go ahead and get on my little short press here and press the dimples in. Alright, now the dimples are pressed in, we can go over to the brake, bend 290s in this thing, and then we should be good to start fitting them up. There's one. This side I have to do part way with full straight fingers and then move it to where I have it gapped to allow for the tip of it to actually go all the way up. See, I run out of room there. Move it over. Finish the bend. One finished gusset. 5 more. So the rack is all coated. Some nice textured truck bed liner. So now to mount it. As far as mounting goes, if you've ever seen unistrut before, used for construction, conduit mounting and things, this is a unistrut spring nut, and it fits this Utilitrack perfectly. I like to think that some Nissan engineer thought ahead for that, but I really don't know. But it does make for a whole lot of options. You can come up with stuff on your own, so just a good tip for you Nissan owners. What's up, everybody? As you can see, the tent is on the truck. Got my wife behind the camera.
Hey guys.
It's a lot nicer than using a tripod for once. But in my eagerness to get this thing mounted and running short on time and everything, I had a buddy come help me, and I forgot to set up the camera to capture the process of putting the tent up there. But it's up, it's mounted, it's solid. We already had it open. Kristen hung out up in there for a little bit, checked it out.
You're so hot.
And
Sexy.
yeah, we didn't get any footage of that. You'll have to wait for our trip video to see all that, but there you go. Turned out pretty good. Got the rack
Yay.
all coated in bed liner.
So good.
Turned out really nice. Got our amber dust lights and third brake light up.
You're so impressive.
Really.
Yeah.
But yeah, did it a quick wash. Even though we're about to get this thing dirty because we're leaving tomorrow to go down south. Had to wash off that Indiana dirt and get some fresh Kentucky and Tennessee dirt on there. But yeah, quick trip around. Not much different other than the tent and the rack. But it turned out pretty sweet. Pop these little ditch lights on too. Got them wired up. I didn't get to get the rest of the lighting on, but at least those are on.
It's a sexy looking truck.
So that's it. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to see the whole setup and operation, and we'll catch you then.
Peace.